Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome today. Welcome. I see folks joining in. I'm Kay Wilson here with you once again live with our weekly immigration updates. I am, as per usual, joining you from our office here in Regina. And as you guys come on in, say hello and let me know where in the world are you joining me from today. Happy Wednesday. Wednesdays are very busy days. And sometimes we don't get to always go live, but here I am today, guys. I've been getting the messages. Thank you for your concern, and thank you guys for checking in to see are we having our session today. But here we are. So I'm gonna actually start off with some of the draws that happened recently. And especially if you are new, I see some comments here. If you are just joining us for the first time, comment below and let me know. And even if you're watching the replays after this, comment below and let me know if you're just joining us for the first time and where. All right, I see some flags there. I see Trinidad, I see Jamaica. I see some familiar names. Hi, Stacey Ann. I'm doing well, thank you. And thanks for always supporting. I see you on most of the times. Alessandra, welcome. Hi. All right. So I'm going to start with, and I see Waleed from Algeria. Welcome. First time, Ashio from Jamaica. Awesome. All right. And guys, we're actually planning, before I even get started and before I forget, we will be having an information session based on the questions that we've been getting from some of you as it relates to immigration programs and your eligibility. We will be having an info session coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. We'll provide more details sooner, closer to the event date, and you guys can join us for additional information as it relates to coming to Canada and what that could look like for you and how you can work towards that goal. So we will be talking about that fairly soon in the upcoming days. So stay tuned for that. We provide more details soon. We have been seeing the questions, and so that is definitely inspired by the questions that we've been getting from you. All right. So I'm going to start off with British Columbia. And if you see me looking back and forth, I am multi-streaming on 2 different devices. Okay, so bear with me. All right, so I'm going to start with British Columbia. They had a draw on March 22nd, so that's yesterday. BC tends to have a draw every week, and these are provincial nominee program draws. They had a general draw, which includes tech occupations. And for this draw, they invited 132 candidates from different streams, right? And the minimum score that was required for the different streams varied. They also had, on the same day, some other jobs for different streams as well. So they had a draw from the international skilled worker stream, the international graduate skilled worker stream, where they selected 47 candidates, and the draw targeted early childhood educators. So in British Columbia, I find that there seems to be a shortage of early childhood educators, and this is one of those occupations in BC where I see employers hiring a lot. So I'm not surprised that this PNP draw targeted early childhood educators. So that's NOC 4214. They also had one that targeted healthcare, right? So healthcare workers. And this draw was conducted with 11 candidates selected. So healthcare workers, healthcare assistants. They also had a draw where they selected 9 candidates, and the occupation that was targeted were veterinary occupations in that draw as well. So these draws were very different from some of their previous ones. both March 22nd and March 14, where they were targeting specific occupations. And now Prince Edward Island is the next one. They had their PNP draw on March 17. So PEI, Prince Edward Island, they are a little different in how they conduct their immigration program draws. So they tend to have one draw per month, and their draws are actually scheduled. So they have released dates with when they will be conducting their draws. They have selected candidates from their business and entrepreneur stream, as well as the labor and express entry stream as well. Then I move on to Manitoba. So you would have seen in some of these program draws that the provinces, Canada in general, so Canada created some streams to help with those who are fleeing Ukraine and to give them an option of coming to Canada. And we see the provinces are also jumping on board to help in this capacity. Saskatchewan, I think, had a special draw the other day where they selected candidates that were from Ukraine, right? From their EOI system. And so Manitoba, on March 18th, they issued 16 letters of advice. So these are the notifications to candidates. It was a special draw and special immigration measure, they term it, for Ukraine, right? And so there were specific criteria to be met, one of which would have been being a citizen of the Ukraine, and they had some other requirements, but that was, of course, the primary one, and it was targeted towards what's happening in the Ukraine and the Manitoba government trying to respond to that situation. Then I'll go to Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan again, so this draw that they had was back on March 8th. I don't think we had touched it the last time. So this one, they had their regular express entry and occupations in demand draws, and they selected 87 candidates. So this was a smaller draw for them. And they selected another 61 candidates. Again, those who were invited were candidates whose current country of residence was the Ukraine. We also had an express entry draw back on March 16th. And this draw was, a continuation of the PNP stream selection. So the candidates that were selected were, they each had provincial nominations. The cutoff score for the lowest ranked candidate was 754, which means that prior to the PNP nomination, this candidate would have had a score of 154. And in what's happening now, so in other things, you would have seen a post about traveling to Canada and the COVID restrictions that were in place, some of which are most of which are being lifted. So the federal government has announced a plan to end pre-arrival COVID testing for travelers entering Canada. But please bear in mind that this end of COVID testing is for fully vaccinated travelers, right? So the testing requirement will be dropped as of April 1st. So meaning you will no longer be required to test prior to coming to Canada. However, it still remains that if you're not vaccinated, you cannot travel to Canada at this time. Travelers who are coming to Canada previously would have had to show proof, right, of a negative COVID test prior to boarding their flight to coming to Canada. So that's being removed, but there may still be random testing of travelers upon arrival in Canada. So even though it's not a mandatory requirement right now, you may still be randomly selected by a Canada Border Services officer to be selected, to be tested, right, while you are entering Canada. So bear that in mind as well. So that's good news, though, for those who wanted to travel to Canada for tourism purposes. Canada is now, I've seen a lot more visitor visa applications being approved for those who may not have a need to travel to Canada to see family, right? So those who were traveling to Canada for leisure purposes. So I've seen an increase in the number of approvals that we personally have been getting. So applications that may have been in process for a while because there was not an immediate need to travel to Canada. Maybe it was just for leisure purposes. So I see those are now being released and people are planning to come to Canada, especially with we're now entering the spring months and of course summer following, and that's usually a great time to visit Canada, of course, if you want to avoid the winter, right? So that's definitely looking good. We hope that things can continue to move in the right direction, especially where the pandemic is concerned. So, and the next thing I wanted to touch on was New Brunswick. We did post some details about this earlier, so I'm just going to mention it quickly. So New Brunswick Express Entry team is collecting profiles under the New Brunswick Express Entry occupations in demand. So New Brunswick is one of those fabulous provinces who are always, they're always having recruitment drives to help to bring immigrants to that province, right? And so from time to time, they will post about the different recruitment events that are happening. If you don't know that the event is happening, though, it will be difficult to find. I guarantee you, if you were to search for this online on Google, you'll not find it, right? So one way to keep abreast is, of course, as per usual, turn on post notifications. Stay tuned to our social media pages. Once we have the details, we always share them. But you will never find this by doing a Google search or even going on their website. You won't find it. So this one was a drive that's targeting accounting and finance professionals. So they have a list of occupations that they are looking for candidates in. So they have financial auditors and accountants, financial investment analysts, human resource professionals. They have professional occupations in business management consulting. So that's 1122. That's a NOC code. So you would have to look at the NOC code to see if your job is included under that. So it's that one would be very broad, right? Then they have administrative officers, which is 1221, and accounting technicians and bookkeepers. So these are the occupations that New Brunswick is currently targeting. And you can submit your information. We've posted the details on our page. You can submit your information to see if you will be selected. Of course, it is ideal if you have an existing Express Entry profile, right? So this is relating to Express Entry. So you would want to have an Express Entry profile for consideration, among other things, right? And then finally, we've been getting some inquiries from those who want to come to Canada to study, right? And so if you are planning to study this year, might be too late to get into a program. Most institutions are closing or would have already closed off admissions for international students for September 2022. So you would want to start looking at 2023. So if you're planning to study in Canada next year, the time to apply is now, right? We've been getting a lot of inquiries about this. So you definitely want to start off your search now and start applying now. There are programs that some of which are in very high demand. And so even for 2023, some of them are already closed, right? So if the program is competitive, if the program has a lower tuition, sometimes they get filled up real quick. So reach out to us, myself and my team, if you need help with that. We do offer admission services, so we can help you throughout the process where that's concerned. So with finding a program and gaining admission, we can assist with the study permit. That's going to be the most critical of all the steps. So the study permit application, which is your authorization to come to Canada, because you can be accepted into a program and not get approved the study permit, right? So the study permit is important. We also assist with settlement. So if you are coming and you need assistance with getting settled in Canada, finding a place to live, if you're trying to, and also your job search. If you're coming as an international student, you have the ability, depending on the program that you're doing, if you're enrolled in an eligible DLI and the program is eligible, you will be able to work for up to 20 hours per week. So we can assist with your job search to ensure that you can start working once you come to Canada and you have started school. So you have to start school prior to being able to work, right? So once you're actively engaged in your program, then that is when you can start working. All right. So if you need assistance with those things, reach out, send an email to info@nccanadaimmigration.com. Or schedule a consultation on our website, right? So nccanadaimmigration.com. Schedule a consultation to get started if that is you. I see somebody asking about PGWP holders. Yeah, we do assist. So we have a few that we're actually working with right now. Fun fact, we do get quite a bit of postgrad work permit holders who are in Toronto, and they are having a difficult time finding employment, and of course trying to make use of their work permit before the time runs out. So we do help with that as well. So reach out, send an email, and we'll see how best we can help you with getting settled and getting into an eligible job, right? Because your job as a postgrad work permit holder, your job must be at least a not be job for you to benefit from that work experience for immigration purposes. Mars Singh, I mean, 3 different bank statements. It's very subjective, the question that you're asking. So I'm not able to really answer that. Please send an email maybe, or schedule a consultation. And it depends on who those sponsors are. 3 sponsors might be a little bit much, but it depends on the relationship. Who are they to you and why they are sponsoring you? Yes, Stacey, you must have the IELTS in order to get into Express Entry. If you are selected for NBPNP, how do you find housing afterwards? So if you're looking for housing, you have been selected and you're coming to Canada as a student or a permanent resident, then you would have to either find housing on your own or work with like a team, like kind of like the service that we provide. Work with somebody that can help you with getting settled, that can help you work on the details in the background here before you come. So that is something that we do. So I would recommend for that to schedule like a settlement consultation. Any culture school? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what is a culture school. Do you mean like doing arts and culture? I'm not sure what you're asking. Sorry. All right. So I think I've touched on most of the questions there, guys. So thank you. Thank you for joining. And I will catch you guys again next week, God's willing. If you do have questions, like I said, send us an email or schedule a consultation to speak with myself or my very capable team. Culinary food schools. Yeah, Canada does have those schools. It depends on the level that you're looking for and, of course, the specialization that you're looking to do. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great afternoon. Hi, Patrina. Thanks for joining. Take care.